What's going on, Wrestling World? Dirty Harry here for another video. I talk so much about why TNA kicked WWE's ass. Normally I make WWE videos all the fucking time, but TNA show is the show that's just really standing out to me this week. So I figured I'd talk about it this much. Also, all the pro TNA heads, don't get too angry at a motherfucker, because like I said, I don't watch TNA like that, but it's just TNA had the overall best show in my opinion this week. So don't flame me too much if I get some shit wrong. Um, I'm only gonna talk about the moments that really stood out in my mind, really, as a casual observer to say, because I'm not a hardcore fan. I don't know who everyone is on there because so many people come and go. But all the same, I'm just gonna talk about the moments that stood out to me. The number one moments that stood out to me would be Rude calling out Hogan and basically just going off Hogan, saying Hogan and Bischoff killed TNA, and he's doing that. You could see, you could feel every TNA fan just going, "You fucking right, Rude, you fucking right." You're telling it like it is. You're saying what every wrestling fan has known since Hogan and Bischoff came in. They're the cancer. They're the fucking HIV of that company, man. They've been killing it over ego. The trifecta that just kills everything. Fucking Bischoff, Russo, and Hogan. But it was just, it felt more like a shoot interview than just a promo. I mean, it was just amazing to see that on TNA. So, TNA, in case some executive watches this, thumbs up on that. That was just amazing to see. I couldn't tell if that was just him just shooting from the hip or if it was scripted, but it was good to see it either way because it's how the fans have been feeling about the product from what I've been reading. Also, the Karen Angle Jarrett, whatever the fuck her name is right now, that whole segment, I actually liked it that because anyone who's been around someone with a vindictive ex-wife, you know that oh my fucking god, it's a fucking nightmare. And I actually liked it that I originally watched TNL TV, but I never watched the whole fucking thing. I just flipped it off and I said, you know what, let me check it out. So I went on there and looked at the rest of it, and it actually turned out to be very good how it turned out. So I actually like that angle. I like the whole. At first, I almost spoke too soon saying that the knockouts had more airtime than WWE does, because I figured their match would be at least 5 minutes, but their matches were quick too. TNA, I remember watching them back when you guys had Gail Kim and Kong on there. Go back to long matches that can tell a story. Don't just give us 1 to 2 minute matches. Don't fuck up where WWE is fucking up. You know, don't ignore your audience. Go back to good matches with knockouts. Your tag team matches have been good. Go back to knockouts. There was another segment with I don't know who the fuck they were. There was this Mexican wrestlers. They called out Hector Guerrero and this one Puerto Rican announcer. Basically, to hear the word fuck and ass be okay on the air of a wrestling show again were an amazing thing to me. You know, not that it's an amazing, it's that, you know, huge of a thing, but WWE's so fucking censored now. You're like, really? What the fuck, you know? So it was kind of, for those of us, for me, I missed the Attitude Era so much. It was like a no holds bar type environment. So to see TNA doing that was really an amazing thing. The highlight of the show would have to be the very end where Bischoff and Hogan are going to the car trying to figure out who the executive, and on the car they have "You're next" sprayed on the car. I always forgot. Oh my god, is Goldberg coming next week? And it turns out it was fucking Brian Kendricks and X Division. They wrote on the car just to freak him out. But just to see that "You're next," that had me like, oh my god, Goldberg's coming and shit. But it was a good show overall, and I really give it a thumbs up over what I saw on WWE this week. You saw the same shit on WWE that you've been seeing for the last few years. You saw Cena win the title. The only highlight of this week was The Rock popping up. The Rock popping up because no one can entertain like The Rock can. I don't give a fuck if you put Keanu Reeves, Van Diesel, you put all of Hollywood on TNA, and you just put The Rock on Raw. The Rock can entertain like no one else can. He's just the fucking greatest ever, man. And for you 11-year-old to 5-year-old Cena fans, I may be insulting some adult Cena fans out there, but all the same, whatever, whatever. Anyway, The Rock is beyond. He's just amazing, and that's from the heart right there, man. To this day, you see people throwing the eyebrow, throwing this shit up, doing all this crazy shit, buying T-shirts for this guy who's been going for 5 years, and there's a fucking reason for that, because that man is the greatest, man. He's the Muhammad Ali of fucking wrestling. He's the fucking Mike Jordan of wrestling. So, damn, it was just so good to see him on there again. Also, to speak on CM Punk's, I've been seeing people talk about him possibly leaving WWE. Um, I can see Punk's reasoning for that. I mean, after Taker, Mysterio, and now even Orton have pretty much buried him. He's carrying a shovel, basically, and now he's the leader of a faction that no one really gives a fuck about because you're a faction of a band of nobodies now. Punk is fucking amazing. He's one of those guys. He's too talented. He's like 3 times above everyone on the entire fucking roster. So you really scratch your head wondering why is he not a world champion? I know I do all the time, and a lot of people were like, "Whoa, whoa, look, Punk could take over that whole fucking company, and he showed it years ago, especially with his beef with Hardy." But I guess they just want to play it safe, like a business would. But Punk is amazing. I don't say that just because I'm from Chicago and he is. It's just Punk is just on the mic talented. If you need proof, watch when he sang "Happy Birthday" to Mysterio's daughter. Just watch his promos. He could lose a match and cut a promo the next day that basically erases the fact that he lost the match to the Brooklyn Brawler. He's just that good. I mean, I watched his indie circuit, and he was just amazing on the indie circuit. Ring of Honor, FWA. I've been a huge Punk fan for a long time, and you just watch him, watch the emotion, watch the psychology he puts in the matches, and I believe Punk should be higher than what he is right now. Punk should be where Orton is right now. You know, where Orton was on Raw, that's where Punk needs to be. He needs to be that guy who's just right there away from being the champion, if not the champion. Because Punk is just that good. You take Punk off Monday Night Raw and it's boring instantly. Because you just deal with Super Cena for 2 fucking hours and you're like, well, we know Cena's going to win. He's going to do his shoulder tackles, his clothesline, his belly to back, his 5-knuckle shuffle, and his attitude adjustment. And maybe an STFU. But you don't get that from Punk. Punk is epic to watch. He's going to be one of those all-time greats that people talk about in like 10 years. But enough about me talking about Punk. Anyway, TNA was good this week. Standout moments where Bischoff and Hogan freaking out all fucking night, rather than them burying the whole locker room like they've been doing, from what I can understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, TNA fans. Feel free to leave a comment and say, well, that's not what happened. Whatever. I don't watch TNA like that. I've already said that already, but a lot of people commented on Jay Lethal being fired, and I personally was shocked because back when I did watch TNA, Jay Lethal was like one of those guys, you know, the guys who were like attached to the name brand of what the company was, kind of like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, the Fallen Angel, you know, fucking Pete Williams back then. He was one of those guys, so I was surprised too. So hopefully Jeff Hardy can make a comeback. I hope they don't bring his drug issues into this big storyline. Personally, you don't need all that. You don't need that. They did that with Scott Hall and it wasn't all that. Just get a better idea. I read somewhere they were thinking about doing that. Please don't do that. Just give them something creative. Give them something original to go with, you know. But anyway, that's all I got. TNA was good this week. That's all I want to say. If you want to see a decent wrestling show from this last week, if WWE pissed you the fuck off, you can watch TNA show. Just watch that one. That's all I got. Not really promoting. Yes, I am promoting. Correction, I am promoting. But it was a good show, and I feel they deserve that because they put on a pretty decent show. They had their fuck ups, like any other company would, but it was a really good show above all else. So take care of yourselves, and when something else I feel significant happens, I'll make another video. Um, that's all I got. Take care of yourselves, and